looking at the hundreds of Vikings around me and going, I'm responsible for them, and I control them, and I love them. Odin, it was rough. I almost give up on you. And you can see he's going, it was a huge pain in the ass, basically. Oh, that's beautiful.
Hey Gerard, my name is Aryan from Golden Screen Cinemas Malaysia. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today. My first 3D movie experience was How to Train Your Dragon. My dad took me from school to the movies, and I got to experience this beautiful father-son relationship on screen with my dad. And I want to thank you for that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I just wanted to know, what was some of your most meaningful memories from working on the first film all those years ago?
That was a long time ago. The experience is very different because in the live action, I'm really there. I'm dressed up in that incredible costume and I'm living on those sets. Whereas the animation, I was only ever in a studio. But I do remember when Dean came on board, because Dean wasn't originally attached. The original production was kind of scrapped. We brought on Dean, and that's when it really took off. And I remember the scene when I'm playing a joke on Hiccup, when I actually think he's getting it together in my book, and I pretend that I'm angry with him, and then I go off. And that day, I remember just having such a blast doing that. And I realized after, I didn't know how much they used of my movements because they had cameras in there. And it was later where the animator showed what he animated and then what I was actually doing. So when I'm going, Odin, it was rough. I almost give up on you. All these facial expressions, eyes and hands. And that made me all the more invested in Stoic. But that day, I remember having such a blast, working with Dean, and you can see he's going, because that wasn't the original Stoic. He was much more general. Way back, it was a lot of speeches, and you didn't have the color that we now have with this character.
How difficult was it to get into Stoic's wardrobe and actually give such a grounded and powerful performance?
I feel like the craft of kind of transforming through hair and makeup and costume is something I've had the opportunity to do over the years now quite a bit, and I've learned to use it to my advantage. So one, it was a huge pain in the ass, basically, hours every day. It was uncomfortable, the costume was heavy, but I also knew that spending that amount of time in hair and makeup, I could watch myself transform and start to feel those aspects of Stoic. I would think about what I was about to do. I could feel it happening, and then stepping onto set, feeling 3 times the size that I was as a normal human being, feeling that power, that, like a chieftain, and then looking at the hundreds of Vikings around me and going, I'm responsible for them, and I control them, and I love them. But wearing all of that, and especially that nightmare of a beard, really helped me kind of just metamorphosize, if that's a word, into Stoic.
You still had that same effect 15 years ago on me. Is there something you didn't get to do in this film that you hope you get to do in the sequel?
That's a very leading question. I mean, I didn't get to ride dragons in this film. Well, I did, but it was off camera. I tell Hiccup at the end, well, I came back with a dragon. But in the second movie, I get to ride dragons, and it's with great anticipation and some hesitation, because I know that took a lot of work when I'm on the gimbal, getting used to because they weren't, the whole point with riding these dragons was, they said, it's not just going to be up and down. How would it move? How do the shoulders move? And therefore, so everything about that gimbal apparently was counterintuitive and quite uncomfortable. So we'll see what happens.
Well, my time is almost up. Thank you so much. I love this film. And yeah, I can't wait to see the next one.
I appreciate it. All right, you take care.